Well, Coach, it was an exciting win this past weekend. What can you say about Phil Terrio, who got you guys going with a 93-yard kick return for a score in the opening quarter, and then sealed the game with an interception on your own 7-yard line in the final seconds?
Phil's been playing some very good football recently. You know, to be able to do what he's been able to do week in and week out and stay consistent with it is certainly a sign of a good football player. The kick return itself it's never a one-man show. You know, returning a kick, there's a lot of moving parts involved in that, and I think one of the biggest that you saw was Troy Zaffino, number 41, on that crackback block. You know, when he saw, he was leading up and he noticed the guy, you know, in hot pursuit of Phil, and for him to be able to take that guy, that was really what sprung it. But there were numerous other blocks there. Connor Kelly had an unbelievable, block. Pat Keenan had an unbelievable block coming across the field. Jared had it. Kevin Moore. There was name after name after name. It finally all came together. And when you see a kick return come together, it typically isn't just one guy. You know, it's typically a lot of guys handling their business. So it was very good to be able to see that. The interception at the end of the game, you know, we knew where they were going, they knew where they were going, and the kid came up a little short on the throw to Bambini. We had him, double covered at that point in time, and Phil stepped in front of it. It was an excellent play.
Speaking about a lot of guys handling their business, you guys have shown some great depth at running back this year. With starting tailback Richie Edwards out this past week, Dan Bonacore rushes for a game-high 85 yards and a score, while Connor Kelly slides to fullback and adds a 12-yard touchdown run. Bonacore goes down in the second half, and Kyrie Halliburton steps in and rushes for 79 yards, averaging 5.3 yards per carry. He gets dinged up, and first-year transfer Kenneth Woods comes in and scores the game-winning touchdown. What does this say about the performance of your offensive line, and can you speak a bit about this next-man-up mentality your team seems to have?
I think you hit the nail on the head. It's the performance of the offensive line that does it. I'm not, not to take anything away from each running back and that next man up, mentality. All those guys that, you're talking about running back number 4, running back number 5, and switching a guy over from linebacker, to running back, and that's where we're at right now as far as our team is concerned, and that should be concerning for anyone. And at the same time, just to know the quality of depth that we have there, to know that those guys have practiced hard week in and week out and never quit, never gave in and said, hey, I'm 4 and 5, I'm done. Is exciting to see. But you got to understand how much of that credit goes to the offensive line, and that's probably the thing that we're most proud of right now. From Adam Iskra to Danny Kehoe to then Floyd Schaefer, Matt DiGiacomo, and Dakota Cowell, just across the board, and then the other guys that we're able to plug in there at times. Those guys have been nothing short of phenomenal, and they're going to have to do that again, again this weekend.
Right. With all the accolades that your team has been receiving, from being ranked number 1 in New England to being ranked number 24 in the nation, as well as the numerous individual honors Phil Terrio received this past week, how do you keep your team striving to get better and keep them away from reading the press clippings and becoming content?
Well, you go to play a pretty good football team on a Friday night, on a short week. We're going up to Boston and playing MIT, and it's their senior day. They're averaging over 400 yards of offense, and then they played the best teams in our league, and they're averaging over 400 yards of offense. They are very, very, very talented on the offensive line, to the quarterback, to the running back, to the receivers. It's a very, very good football team, and I think that humbles us, week in and week out, for us to look at who our opponents are and know the challenges that we're going to face both offensively and defensively each week. That in itself, it enables you to continue to get better and better and better and better. When there is no easy week, that's where that all lies.
As you said, you guys face MIT this Friday night. I know you guys like to stay consistent and keep things structured, so does this shortened week throw off your normal routine, or is it just a nice change of pace to mix things up at this point in the season?
Yeah, it messes with your schedule just a little bit. I think that, we leave, tomorrow, Friday, we leave and head on the bus. Our normal Friday walkthrough, we're still going to get that in just a little bit earlier in the day, and then I think it's just about how these guys are going to be able to manage that day. Tomorrow, the anticipation, the excitement, everything, and trying to just keep that at a lull, or at a low, until they can actually get out there and play the game, is going to be the thing that we got to discuss quite a bit. Everybody deals with it a little bit differently, and that's the thing that I just hope that we have the right recipe for that.
All right, Coach. Well, good luck this weekend versus MIT.
Thanks, Stephen. Appreciate it.